All right. So, Troy, let's get it started. All right, Troy. Here we go. So obviously they lost their head coach. Summerall's moved on to Tulane. He took both coordinators with him too. So we got a full coaching overall here at Troy. The new head coach is Gerard Parker. He spent time with a number of different teams: Notre Dame, West Virginia, Penn State, Duke, Purdue, Marshall. I mean, this guy's been everywhere. They got Sean Reagan at OC. He was with Troy back in 2014 to 2018. He was with West Virginia last year. Dante Wright also takes over the DC. He was with West Virginia last year. And Gerard Parker, I believe, coached with these guys at West Virginia. I think they were all together at West Virginia a couple years back. So they kind of reunite here as the new coaching staff for Troy. 100 and see, this is where Andy is missing. 129th in returning production, just 4 starters, 2 on offense, 2 on defense. Quarterback Gunnar Watson is gone. The name of the starting quarterback is Goose Crowder.
Best name for a quarterback, man.
Goose Crowder?
Goose Crowder, yep.
Goose Crowder, who I believe has 0 career starts. I think
he only has, if I count it up in my head, 21 pass attempts.
Yeah.
But he's completed a lot of them, actually.
So the only time Goose Crowder has seen the field in his career, which is like a 3-year career, I think he's been there.
He was at West Virginia in 21 and 22. He was at Troy last year. So he actually was with
he was with these guys.
Parker. He was the back, or I guess the third string if he wasn't playing at all. So yeah, he was with Parker.
0 career starts, 13 pass attempts last season in blowouts. They lose their star running back, 1,661 yards, 14 touchdowns, gone. Vidal, he's on the Chargers now, if you're wondering where he ended up. He was first team all-conference, probably the most important piece of the offense last year. He's gone. They still have their RB2, but no question, huge hit with Vidal gone. Their wide receiver room got crushed. 4 of their top 6 wide receivers gone. Their leading receiver, Jabray Barber, he's on Texas A&M now. So they got cooked there. They only returned 2 starters on the offensive line. I mean, one of them, I think, is their best offensive lineman, though. The one kid was second team all-conference. He's back, but still only 2 starters on the offensive line. Defensively, I mean, just 2 starters return on the defensive line. They got a kid in the portal. They lost their top 2 linebackers. The leading tackler, first team all-conference, he's gone. 0 starters back in the secondary. So having said all that, how are you, quote-unquote, big on this Troy team?
I didn't say the words big. I like the hire. I thought the hire was good. He's considered, I looked him up, he's considered, quote, rising star. You know, when I hear that, that's great. Offensive guru. He was at Notre Dame last year. Good hire, don't get me wrong. But offensively, this team's going to be rough. As good as he is and as good as play calling is his system, I definitely agree that the offense is not going to be very good. I mean, maybe this guy Crowder is a guy who hasn't played much. Maybe he was just hiding and he's a great quarterback. Maybe. I like the defense a little bit. I thought they brought in their top 5 additions were all on defense. So they needed that. I think it'll be the driving force. If they're going to keep it up, it solely needs to be on the defense here. I thought they made the additions on defense that helped them. Offensively, I'm with you. I think the offense is going to be rough. When you lose your top 3 wide receivers, your running back and your quarterback, you could be, I don't know, you could be anybody. You could be a genius. You're not coaching this team to even a solid offense. But I think the defense can drive them enough to where they can win some games. Now, I'm not saying I'm taking their over yet. We have to look at their schedule after. But I liked the hire. I think he's smart. Maybe they win a game or 2 because of him out-coaching. But, this offense is going to be very hard to watch.
Yeah, which is why, how do you not look at that under 6.5 wins?
We got to look at the schedule, definitely. But I think their defense will I mean, it'll obviously be the better unit on the team, but I think it'll drive them a little bit here.
I mean, they have a couple layups, but I think it's possible that this team wins as little as 4.
Mm-hmm.
So it's under for me, but we can pull up the schedule so people can make their own decision. I mean, no question that some of these teams that Troy's the better program, and historically this is a winnable game. But man, at Arkansas State is probably a loss this year, right? I mean, this is not like last year. Arkansas State took a step forward, and Troy took a step backward. So I think at Arkansas State's a loss.
I think I thought their non-conference is not manageable at all. They're going to probably start 1-2. If you look at, I think they beat Nevada. Nevada's not a very good team at all. They'll beat Florida A&M. I think ULM could be a tough one. Could be a win, but then I think they go on a little bit of a losing skid. I have the under 2, but I want to say I think that this team, if they pull upsets late in the season, don't be as surprised as maybe you would be usually. I think this team will improve as the year goes on. Like those games against Louisiana, they're going to beat Gassa. But Southern Miss, those games late in the season, they're going to win those games because they're going to be ready. They're going to be a team. But I would say early in the season, it kills them. I mean, having to play Memphis and Iowa back-to-back on the road are brutal games that you can't. I mean, I doubt they would have scheduled. They were probably scheduled before this year anyway, but probably wouldn't have scheduled them if they knew they were going to lose everything.
Yeah, and then a couple of their home games, I don't even know, like obviously Texas State, they're going to be underdogs in that game. And then the final game of the season, Southern Miss, I kind of like Southern Miss. Like, I know that in that game, Troy is going to be favored, right? That's a game they should win, home against Southern Miss, but I don't know. I think Southern Miss defense might be pretty good, undervalued. So, all right, let's move on to the next one.
Speak of the devil.
Oh, is Southern Miss next? Okay,
Yep.
nice. I didn't even know that Southern Miss was next. All right, Southern Miss. Okay, here we go. All right, Southern Miss. Will Hall returns for his 4th year at head coach. Team took a step backwards yesterday, mostly